Hey guys, with the delay of the March update, I figured I would do my review of co-op mode for Star Wars Battlefront 2 since it now contains all eras, and I'm assuming most of the features DICE plans to implement into co-op mode are all there in order to consider it a finished game mode, aside from the new maps that they'll be adding into it. So, what is co-op mode? Well, for all you newcomers to the game, co-op mode is a game mode that released in September 2019 that has you and 3 other people team up to fight against AI bots in order to capture or defend command posts. There are 2 modes of co-op. There is co-op attack, in which you and 3 other friends must work together to capture command posts in a sort of tug-of-war playstyle, except capturing command posts allows you to progress to the next set of command posts until you finally converge on the final objective. Essentially, once you capture a command post, you are rewarded to the next area of the map until the end. The next mode is co-op defend, in which the goal is to stop the AI from capturing command posts. If you fail, you retreat to the next set of command posts as the AI progresses their attack, and if they capture the final command post, you lose. Both modes operate on a timer in that you must defend a command post for a set number of minutes in order to win, or when attacking, you are given a time limit to capture the command post before it runs out. In both modes, if you're in the middle of capturing or defending a command post when the timer runs out, the game goes into overtime until the command post is either captured or lost. Now, if you've played Galactic Assault, it's essentially that, but for casual players. It's a lot more accessible for new and veteran players alike, and I recently found myself playing it a lot more than any other game mode in the game. If you're not a fan of competitive multiplayer, but still want to play a great Star Wars game online with your friends, co-op was designed for you. The thing I enjoy most about co-op mode is that the experience is always different every time you play. You generally wouldn't expect a game mode against AI bots to be fun all the time, but in co-op, that's exactly the case. And I think for a combination of reasons. The first being is that DICE has programmed their auto players to play and behave similar to human players. They're very unpredictable and actually a joy to fight against. While they do have their issues and bugs sometimes, I would say about 90% of the time, it does feel pretty satisfying to take down the AI, especially when enemy hero AI show up. It provides as much of a challenge as it is fun. You often need to strategize an attack or defense when going up against the bots, as you won't be mowing them down senselessly. One thing I've noticed is that the AI difficulty seems to always change either from match to match or even in the middle of a match. One game you might make it through at a steady pace, but then the next game you find yourself struggling because you're unable to break through the AI's line of defense. This keeps each map interesting as the experience is always different each time you play because the AI difficulty is always changing, at least so it seems. The second thing that creates the experience is your teammates. Playing with friends is a lot of fun, but playing with strangers can be a hit or miss. Sometimes you'll get a great team that's focused on playing the objective, and other times you'll get players that are just out for blood. This situation can be a bit frustrating because you'll try to progress in the game mode, but your teammates are on the other side of the map, nowhere near the objective, out collecting kills, which definitely hinders the experience. However, finding a game is incredibly easy, especially in the era you want to play in. Since the game usually starts with at least 2 other people including yourself, you don't have to wait for a 40-player lobby to fill up just to play on a map or era you dislike. Co-op usually has many games running at the same time, and almost any time that I've queued up a game and backed out because there's a game running on a map that I dislike, my next queue will usually be on a different map. Also, I'm not sure if this is luck, but unlike Galactic Assault or Supremacy, I'm usually put into a game that has just begun, and never in the middle or at the end of a pre-existing match. My unfortunate experience with Star Wars Battlefront 2's multiplayer seems to be that I'm always placed on the losing team of every multiplayer match, whereas in co-op, I'm rarely put into a match that's already halfway through. However, while co-op for me is a much more fun experience, Galactic Assault has a few things over co-op that I do want to talk about. Now, both are supposed to be different game modes, and while there are a few co-op maps that play exactly like Galactic Assault, I do wish DICE would add the immersive details that Galactic Assault has that the other game modes don't. For example, my favorite co-op map is on Yavin 4, particularly at the semi-final command post where the doors to the rebel base are sealed shut, and if the Empire captures the second last command post, then the doors open and the last command post is revealed inside. A similar thing happens in Naboo Palace on both co-op and Galactic Assault. The idea that things happen within the map based on your progression or failure would add a little spice to the game mode. However, there is another immersive detail that I would also love to see in co-op, which is the wildlife and nuanced details within a map. On Tatooine in Galactic Assault, the Empire is seen arresting rebels as you see fellow stormtroopers just out there for decoration. Then as you traverse the map, you see civilians running around and creatures of the Star Wars universe running through the streets. I think this is why Galactic Assault feels the most immersive to me, but since I'm more of a casual player, it's hard to appreciate and explore these details when you're getting shot down every 5 seconds in a multiplayer match. Even though these seem like small things, in the grand scheme of things, especially in a game like Star Wars, I think it makes such a big difference when these things are present, even if you're not going out of your way to appreciate them. While these details don't make or break co-op, I think the mode could benefit just a tad more with these things added. Now we address the elephant in the room: starfighters and vehicles. Co-op is strictly a ground-based game mode. There isn't any option to take to the skies and mow down the AI, which in some cases makes sense as the command posts are on the ground. However, I think adding the ability to cover your teammates from the skies above would add a whole new level to the game in terms of immersion and playability. Going back to the Tatooine scenario for Galactic Assault, which plays like co-op in that the objective is to capture control points in different areas of the map. There are starfighters in Galactic Assault, but they don't exactly contribute directly to the objective of that map. However, because there are starfighters and vehicles during Galactic Assault, it feels like a true Star Wars experience. If ground vehicles and starfighters were added to co-op mode, I think it would be the next all-inclusive Star Wars experience for the game for casual players and veterans alike. Currently, single-player instant action has ground vehicles, and it makes the offline experience truly immersive when you see vehicle warfare taking place as a foot soldier or hero. It gives the game mode a certain dynamic that feels lively and challenging, and I think co-op could use the same dynamic as well. Currently, players are able to control ground vehicles, and it would add a little something if the AI could use them as well. On maps like Hoth and Kashyyyk, it feels a bit weird not seeing vehicles fighting against each other on these massive landscapes. Not seeing AT-ATs or AT-ST walkers march to the foot of the rebel base on Hoth to invade it kinda pulls you out of the situation.
Escape the Empire's reach. Prepare the assault.
Rustate! Quentabilu!
To me, adding at least ground vehicles to the AI would make the mode feel all the more challenging, especially that they have them now programmed into the game. Actually, to be honest, I think ground vehicles are a must to be implemented into the mode. And if they add them, starfighters would make a little bit more sense since they would make a great counter to the ground vehicles. It's a feature I hope they add eventually, and like I said, with ground vehicles currently programmed for instant action, it might just be a matter of time before we see them in co-op mode. In all, co-op mode is an excellent game mode for anyone who wants to have a good time with the game without worrying about the stresses and competitiveness of multiplayer. It's a joy to play with other friends and is an experience that never seems to go stale. I do think the mode could be improved with the inclusion of ground vehicles and starfighters, along with some immersion details that the other game modes have, but regardless, it's still a mode I think everyone can enjoy and have a lot of fun with. If you're new to the game, I think co-op mode is the game mode you should check out first, as it'll ease your way into playing highly competitive multiplayer if that's your thing. However, it also cures that itch of playing in the Star Wars universe as a veteran player. Currently, co-op is my favorite game mode, and I highly recommend it to anyone playing the game or anyone wanting to pick up the game for the first time. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know down in the comments below what you like most about co-op and things you think it could improve on. I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions on it, since from what I've read it seems to be a well-received mode by everyone in the community. But that has been my review on the game mode. Remember to like the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos similar to this one, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.